I like it when it's this cold. It reminds me of home, he says. At least it doesn't generally get as cold down here that your face hurts. That's different than being in New Hampshire. It's really not that cold today. It was like 40 something when I got up. It's 50 something now, but it's not supposed to get out of the 60s. It's the change of seasons, and I'm trying to adapt to change. Been spoiled with the warm weather. It's the day after the Farm Where You Live Fall Harvest Festival, and I decided not to go to church today. I have to babysit tonight, and that's probably going to be late, and I'm trying to learn my limits. So I'm off to make sure the chickens have enough water for the day, and just try to get caught up from being gone and preparing to be gone and all that. Good morning, ladies. Looks like you might have run out of water sometime. Let's get that taken care of. The water system that we have right now, and for the chickens, and we can use this in the better part of the warmer months, actually is water that we siphon in from our spring that's on our property. In that way, at least most of the months, they're not getting water that actually is chlorinated and has any of the other stuff that our town water unfortunately has. This is our spring house. And there's the pump. Now, when we hooked this up, we were running the pump with gasoline, with the generator, but then, of course, gas prices doubled in the last couple of years, so now we're running it with electricity. The plan is at some point, when Rick doesn't have a million other projects to do, the plan is to build something. I don't understand the dynamics of it, but it's something that doesn't require electricity or fossil fuels. It's something that runs on gravity, and I think for $100 in parts we can throw that together, and then we're not paying for electricity or gas, and we can have fresh water all the time. In the winter time, when it gets cold, we're gonna have to like unhook the pump so it won't freeze, because although it doesn't get stupid cold down here like it does in New Hampshire, it does get cold enough to freeze and damage things that you don't want frozen. Last year, I think we had like a 4 or 5 day stretch where we had temps that were in the 20s or slightly below, and it was a stretch. It was the first time we've experienced that since we've been down here for, it'll be 4 years in January. I think we're like in a third year, or going into our third year of owning chickens, and we're constantly learning. We didn't know a lot going into it. It was like jumped in, and oh my gosh, we weren't really prepared, and so we've learned a lot. One of the things we learned recently is that it's important for the chickens to have strong immune systems as it is for us to have strong immune systems. Last weekend, we had discovered, trying to find the one, on a couple of our chickens, we had discovered little spots on their comb, and we've also had a reduction in eggs supply. And let me see, you guys can tell. A little bit of a dark spot there. And the research that we did led us to believe that we may be dealing with something called fowl pox. So apparently fowl pox is caused by mosquitoes, which we've had no shortage of, and maybe it's mosquito eggs. I mean, that's where we have to be aware of, flushing their water regularly, making sure they get fresh water. But the clincher with this is that once you get fowl pox, it goes through the whole flock, and it can take a couple months to do that. So immediately it's like, well, what can you do? You can't do anything. They tell you to vaccinate your chickens against it. Our chickens are not vaccinated. I'm okay with that. So what I have been doing is we changed out, we took away the 5-gallon bucket waterers that we were using because it holds more and less likely to get changed. And we just kept the pans, and I've got 3 pans in here. So it's a Sunday right now, and I last changed the water out on Friday, and of course yesterday they went through. We left yesterday morning for the farm where you live a little before 5 in the morning. It was dark, and we got home about 10 last night. So this morning they were out of water. So what I've been doing to treat them, because there's no real treatment, there's no real cure, is I'm trying to boost their immune systems by putting apple cider vinegar in, and we've been giving them vitamin B if we feel like they need it, but we got them vitamin B with some electrolytes, and that's what we're using in their water. So, and I'm making sure that I have my brush out here when I'm coming out to do the waters and scrubbing out, so giving them the best chance possible to, maybe it won't be like an epidemic that goes through the whole flock, because honestly the one that we saw that had the pox that first alarmed us, she was looking better after like 3 or 4 days of us doing that, trying to boost her immune system. I believe it's a viral thing, not a bacteria thing, but a viral thing. I think some people treat with antibiotics, but we're not going to do that. When you treat with a medication, then it affects the eggs. Right now, the only thing it affects with the eggs is the production of it. Your production goes down. So I'm just trying to boost their immune system so they can get over this quicker, feel better, feel like laying more. And it seems to be working, because I'm not actually, as far as spreading through the flock, I'm not seeing it. Fingers crossed. Maybe we nipped it. Maybe we, saw it early on, and it won't be a big issue. But yeah, so now they have their water, and it has vitamin B with electrolytes, as well as apple cider vinegar, which I had to buy because I've been going through my homemade apple cider vinegar rather quickly. So I always have to up my production of that, even if it means buying apples just to make it. With 50 hens, you would think that you'd get more than 18 max eggs a day, and we've been running like from 13 to 18 for the last few weeks. But it is getting darker earlier. That's something that happens, and so we'll just, fingers crossed. I'm not a mass producer anyway. I just try to provide for my family and some friends at church. Hello, boys. Let's see a little bit of a pock mark on that one. Well, hi. How you doing? Next on the list today is to give the raised beds and the potted flowers and the newly planted herbs a good watering, because they did not get that yesterday. I think that's probably it for this video. I'm gonna sit down and draw up a game plan for this next week. But thank you for joining me today. Be a blessing and be blessed.